This week on the Husky Update.
Protest break amidst the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict. Northeastern's EXP officially opens and Eras Tour movie tops the charts. All this and more on this month's episode of the Husky Update.
Your campus, your news, all the time. From the Showman Studio, here is the Husky Update.
Hello and welcome back to the Hubdate. My name is Pfeufer and this is the month's news. On October the 7th, 2023, war broke out between Palestine and Israel. Hamas militants broke through the border between Gaza and Israel to launch an attack. Hamas killed at least 1,400 Israeli civilians and took over 200 hostages, claiming that they would be killed if Israel continued to bomb Palestine without warning. On October 17th, Hamas officials said that they would protect hostages and release them when circumstances on the ground allow. Israel has retaliated against this attack through airstrikes. At least 3,200 Palestinian civilians in Gaza have been killed and 1 million have had to leave their homes. Additionally, 62 Palestinians in the West Bank have been killed by Israeli troops. Across the world, there have been protests against both Palestine and Israel, as well as calls for peace from both sides. Here in Boston, on October the 9th, thousands gathered on Boston Commons in support of Israel. US Senator Elizabeth Warren and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu were leaders of the protest. On October 17th, thousands in Copley marched in support of Palestine, specifically calling for an end to US support of Israel. The war between Palestine and Israel is ongoing. Now we go to Abby for the lightning round.
Thanks, Aya. Hi, I'm Abby Barton, and this is the lightning round. In local news, Northeastern's new Center for Research, EXP, had its grand opening this past Monday, October 16th. The new space is filled with updated labs, makerspaces, and study areas for students to engage with. Governor Maura Healey provided a few remarks, saying, "As everyone knows, Massachusetts is a leader on so many fronts, and it's our job, and my job in particular, to make sure we are lengthening our lead every step of the way. And it's this kind of investment, this kind of facility, that's going to get us there." In national news, after a 2-year-long hiatus in order to focus on her mental health, Simone Biles has made a comeback to gymnastics. Biles recently competed in the World Artistic Gymnastic Championship in Belgium, taking home 4 more gold medals. This brings her total number of gold medals to 37, which makes her the most decorated gymnast in the world. In international news, Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour movie, was released worldwide on Friday, October 13th. The film brought in $96 million domestically and $128 million internationally in its opening weekend. This comes just 2 weeks before Swift releases her re-recorded version of her 1989 album on Friday, October 27th. Now we turn to David on the street.
Hi, I'm David with NUTV News. It's Family and Friends weekend, so we're going to go around and ask some parents some questions about Northeastern's campus. Our first question, it's mostly a parent interview, but you know, you can laugh at Dad here. How many Dunkin' Donuts are there on Northeastern's campus?
I think there's about 5.
Is that correct?
I don't think so.
There's 3. And that's only if you count the one in Ruggles. All right, so another good question here. How many books are in the library?
Ooh, I hope there's a lot. I would say about 300,000.
I'd say 0.
There are 0 books in the library, that's correct. How many libraries are there, actually? This is a good question.
I would guess 4.
Beats me.
There's 2. There's Snell down there. There's also the law library over here. Most people will miss the law library. Do you know what starrowing is?
Starling, a bird?
Starrowing.
Starrowing, no, do you?
Do you? No, never heard of that? Okay. So when people take their moving trucks on Starrow Drive, which is not big enough for moving trucks, and they take the top off by the bridges. So I'm going to guess you've never been starrowed then.
No, it was a lot easier when we were moving in earlier.
Yeah. Do you know who the president of Northeastern is?
No, you stumped me totally.
I have no
You don't
idea.
know? What year are you?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore? You don't know who
I
the
was in
president?
London last year.
Oh man, what a shame. President Aoun. Okay, and another good question here. How do you eat pizza Boston style?
I haven't tried it yet, should I?
You definitely should try some pizza.
So how should I eat it?
It's a trick question. Just a couple questions. So do you know who the president of Northeastern is? Yeah. Hopefully you know, but for the rest of the family, you know?
Yes.
I don't know his name.
I have no idea.
No idea who is it?
Uwan, how do you
Aoun.
Aoun,
President Aoun.
I know how to spell it.
All right, our next question here. How many libraries are there on campus? Do you know?
I'm gonna go with 4.
4 libraries?
3.
3?
3. I've only been to Snell, so
There's 2. There is Snell and there's the Law Library. So, speaking of Snell Library, how many books are there in the library? Any guesses? If you're within an order of magnitude, I'll give it to you.
550,000.
950,000.
A million. I'm gonna go with price.
2 million.
0. So, how many Dunkin' Donuts do you think are on campus?
I have no idea. 3.
2.
Wow, Mom's right here. There are 3 Dunkin' Donuts on campus. You know who the president of Northeastern is?
I do. I watched him on orientation and first day. My name is escaping me.
Yeah, do you know who the president is?
Honestly, I forgot.
All right, President Joseph Aoun. We love him. Yeah, great speaker. Do you know what building you're standing in front of here?
I have no idea.
No idea. This is Ryder Hall. Yeah, it's for the College of Arts, Media, and Design. So, or some of that stuff. Oh yeah, where are you from? Connecticut. Okay. So, have you tried any pizza here in Boston?
Yes.
New Haven pizza.
Yes. Lobster pizza.
Lobster pizza. So, how do you eat pizza Boston style?
I hope not with a knife and fork.
Usually with a wicked cold beer.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But unfortunately, I just made it up, so it's not a real thing. Thank you for joining us here for Parents Weekend. We hope you enjoyed, and back to you in the studio.
Thanks, David. Back in January, Kevin McCarthy was elected Speaker of the House. However, on October the 3rd, the House voted to remove him as Speaker after a motion to vacate was filed by Representative Matt Gaetz. Gaetz was displeased after McCarthy worked with House Democrats to pass a continuing budget resolution to prevent government shutdown. After multiple closed-door votes within the Republican conference, Jim Jordan was selected as the party's candidate for Speaker. As of Friday, October the 20th, the House was voted 3 times to select a new Speaker. To win the vote, Jordan needs nearly every Republican to vote for him. However, the latest vote saw 25 Republicans split with their party and vote against him. Following the third failed vote, House Republicans held another closed-door meeting where they voted to remove Jordan as their candidate and to reconvene on Monday to select a new candidate for Speaker. In the meantime, nearly a dozen Republicans have announced interest in the speakership. Following the failed vote, House Minority Speaker Hakeem Jeffries held a press conference where he announced that informal conversations were happening across the aisle on a potential bipartisan solution, although he declined to share any details. Now we turn to Breanna on the streets.
Thanks, Aya. I'm Breanna Adel, and today we're going to be going around asking people about their roommates. Come on. Have you ever had a bad roommate situation?
Yeah. So freshman year, I was rooming with my friend from high school, Noam, but then we also got a third surprise roommate, and his name was Ting Rui. So he was from China. So we met him in our room. It was White Hall, best hall, but yeah, I didn't really know this kid. He didn't really seem to have much of an interest in befriending me or Noam. But when we first met him, I asked does he want to go by Ting Rui or if there's anything else we could he could go by, and then he said we could call him James, but then my roommate Noam, he had a friend in high school named Jimmy, so he was really excited about the potential to call someone else Jimmy. So he was like, James, so we can call you Jimmy, right? And then Ting Rui seemed really confused, so he just kind of was like, okay, yeah, I guess. And then we never called him James or Ting Rui again. We would only really call him Jimmy, and we had no way to gauge whether he liked that or didn't like that. One time we saw in his phone he just had us down as roommate 1 and roommate 2, so he didn't even know our names. But and I hope I was roommate 1, but I don't even know. But then yeah, so. Yeah, it was. But then he ended up moving out really early on, so I guess he wasn't really a fan of us. But that's okay, because he kept waking us up at 8 a.m. screaming, playing video games. So, but Jimmy, if you're watching this, Ting Rui, James, I miss you, man. I hope you're doing all right.
Thank you, Daniel. Could you tell me about one of your roommates, if you have a fun story about them?
Yeah, I have a roommate named Nick McDanis, and he has a little bit of trouble washing dishes. the other week. We had like not done dishes for like a day or two, stacked up all in the sink, super gross. And he hadn't done them in like a week, so we're like, Nick, can you do the dishes? And come back like 30 minutes later, look at the dishes. We have like a dish rack, just like looking at them, like expecting them. There's still like grease on all of them. So me and my buddy had to spend another 30 minutes rewashing every single dish. And I don't know if he's done a dish since, and that was a couple weeks ago. So love the kid though. He's a great kid, entertaining to live with, but can't do a dish for his life. Yeah, that's my story.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. Do you have any bad roommate stories?
So let me tell you about this one time in freshman year, right? So my roommate, can I name him?
If you want to cause drama.
Thank you, Lauren.
No. So my roommate, he who shall not be named, so for context, I'm sure you've heard of the sock rule, right? When you bring over someone and you put a sock on the door. Yeah, so he brought someone over. He didn't put a sock on the door. I walked in. I walked out about 10 seconds later. I don't think I need to explain any more than that. Apparently, he did tell me that he was bringing someone over. It's just that he texted me an hour ago, and he just said, "When are you getting back?" with nothing to tell me why. So, you know, confusion was experienced that day. That's about it.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, don't worry.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
Woo.
Back to the studio.
Thanks, Breanna. The first month of the semester has been a productive one for Northeastern student government. In this week's full-body Senate, new senators had their first opportunity to debate new legislations that were proposed by various boards and committees. Notably, a resolution of governance from the Green Initiatives Board that introduced revisions to their manual was passed by unanimous consent. Moreover, election board manuals were introduced, and authors of the resolution of governance are reaching out to senators for further amendments. The legislation will be voted on next week. Finally, a Senate resolution to expand wellness days was introduced by Director Federica Cuomo and Senator Mia Netland. Once again, both legislations will be voted on next week after further discussion. Within our boards and committees, our Student Engagement Committee will be conducting a focus group with SSI, focusing on improvements to the Mentor Hub app. The session will take place on the 2nd of November from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and participants have the chance to earn a $30 Amazon gift card for participating. Feel free to stop by or reach out to this email if you want to learn more. Moreover, the DEI Committee has started a Women's Center task force to tackle pressing issues into the subject matter. Reach out to this email if you'd like to learn more. My name is Armaan Sarao, and this has been the SGA Update.
That's the news. The rest is up to you. Be sure to like our Instagram page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with the Husky Update. My name is Abby Barton. Thanks for watching.